All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Tracy, are we set to go? He was here. Okay, he is here. All right. We will call the September 14th, 2020 Board of Public Works and Safety to order. Just note that it'll just be Jason and I today. Jeff is unable to attend. We do have callers on the line, but they are not board participants. They may be staff or otherwise. So staff, if you're on the line, I'll call you, I'll kind of call you in as we need you so you know when to speak up. Chris, are there any announcements or additional items?
Nope.
Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I will second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to the resolutions, a request to declare certain property as surplus. I assume this is Tabitha's? Tabitha, are you on the line?
Yes,
Great.
yes, I am.
Anything you want to touch on this surplus?
No, pretty standard surplus, time for them to go. We've replaced them already.
Okay. Any questions for Tabitha, Jason? No. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next, Tabitha, is a request to approve purchase of 4 F-550 dump bodies.
Yes, we have, earlier this year, we purchased 4 F-550 chassis that were approved by the board. These dump bodies are to go on those trucks when we receive them from Ford to get them set up for DPW to use for snow and salt spreading.
Tabitha, are these aluminum dump bodies?
No, they're stainless steel.
Okay.
And actually, the bid came back a little better than expected. The upgrade in the thickness of the steel came in at a price we could afford. So I'm actually not going with the lowest bid. I'm going with the best bid, if that's possible. The lowest bid came in at $22,538 per truck, but the upgraded steel would bring us to $23,000, which is a much better product that will last longer for us.
Gotcha. That's one of my pet peeves is seeing our trucks all rusted out on the back from the salt. So I'm glad to hear we're able to put something that'll last longer. Are there any additional questions for Tabitha?
No.
Seeing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
I will second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next is a resolution approving rental fees for city assets.
I'll go ahead and take that. This is Chris Greisel, attorney for the city of Fishers. Sarah's on her way in a traffic jam right now on 116th Street. So if you guys have any follow-up questions, you can save those for Sarah. But the Parks Department's simply updating their recreational facility fee rentals at the Ambassador House in Saxony Hall. And particularly the updated fee schedule includes 2 new offerings at Saxony, a 4-hour wedding package and an 8-hour reception package. The rental prices haven't increased since 2018. And this resolution doesn't increase those prices, it just has those 2 new offerings. So those weren't in the fee schedule to begin with, and they wanted to make sure that while they're offering these, they were updated in our typical fee schedule. So if you have any questions on that, please let me know.
I had a question on this as I looked at it earlier. So what is the discount for?
So one's a resident fee and the other's a non-resident fee.
So the resident one would be,
I think the resident one includes the parenthetical. So
okay,
if you-
okay.
when you look at the exhibit and the
All right, that's where I was getting confused,
Yep.
because when I look at parenthetical, I think of less
Yes.
320, so I was like, so it's only gonna be $80 for,
What I thought too.
okay.
It's not very clear.
Yeah, so I think if we could just have resident, non-resident, I don't know, is this getting codified in the, in our code, or is this just a?
This is, Parks will update this and provide it out to their facility rentals.
I think we probably just need to provide some direction. I'm okay with the numbers.
You just want clarification
It's
on the
just a very
resident, non-resident.
confusing table. Because in the world of like finance, that looks like you're less $320 or less $1,600.
I'm clear on that.
And
So-
even in the comments, it's discount shown in parentheses, so it
Right.
says 320 is the discount.
Right. So, if we could just clear up the table, I think that would be helpful. Any other additional items, questions, concerns? Seeing
Not that, so we're
nothing of substance, just more
yeah,
the,
we certified or confirmed that 320 is the actual
Yeah.
rate, not the discount
Yes.
okay.
example. Okay.
So as long as those things are consistent, I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye, motion carries. You tell her to turn around and make a U-turn wherever she's stuck. Yeah, next is a resolution approving a quitclaim deed.
Again, Chris Greisel, attorney for the city of Fishers. So if you recall, in 2018, the city purchased property out at Geis for Geis Waterfront Park. As part of the financing, the city issued bonds with a lease financing structure with the redevelopment commission utilizing proceeds. So because of that, the city of Fishers needs to quitclaim a portion of that property over to the city of Fishers redevelopment commission to support that lease structure.
Gotcha.
This is really just a completion of the process for the financing, so if you have any questions,
There she
let
is.
me know.
She made it. Well, I'll make a motion to approve this item. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye, motion carries. Sarah, just for your sake, on the table for rental fees, it's a little bit misleading because it has parentheses around it and says this is the discount, but I don't think you mean to discount the amount that you have in there. I think that's what you're saying the resident fee would be. Is that fair? So, example of this would be for the social event, you're not advocating for a reduction of $320. You're saying that the non-resident fee would be $400 and the resident fee would be $320, is that right? Yes, correct. So I think we just need to clear up that table, because Jason pointed out, if you scroll down, it says discount shown in parentheses. That would tell you that the discount is $320. So, yeah, okay, great. We'll move back to our agenda items.
Number 10.
Yep. So we have a request to approve a residential waiver to install a small cell facility in Lantern Ridge. Jason?
For the record, Jason Taylor, Director of Engineering. If you recall, at the last meeting, the board, we presented a number of small cell structures inside of approximately 4 neighborhoods. And at that time, there were some questions surrounding the submittal process, and we were working with the provider to submit all of the necessary information. One of those items was the sworn statement. We did not have that in hand at the time, nor did we have some of the documents posted as part of the board action form to be available for the public. So what we went back, the engineering department, Tammy Houston, who's here today, and our legal team, and reviewed what is required to make sure that we have everything. And I will bring Tammy up to discuss a little bit of the specifics on each particular item related to each of the subdivisions. Tammy.
Thanks, Jason. Tammy?
Good afternoon, Tammy Houston, City Fishers Engineering Department. Let's see, you just want to go start with Lantern Ridge?
Yes.
Okay. For Lantern Ridge, we were able to have a meeting with the HOA and Verizon Wireless and the City of Fishers to discuss the proposed location of their small cell structure, which was at 12699 Fuller Court, which is in the back of their subdivision. The HOA had requested that this location be removed out of the subdivision. Verizon was not able to do that in order to be able to maintain the coverage objective that they had for the subdivision. But they were able to come to a consensus that the proposed small cell facility will be located near the front of the subdivision, in front of their pond. I believe on the staff report you can see an X next to the pond where the new location will be located at. And Verizon and the HOA have agreed to that location. So we would ask that you approve the permit for that location.
Okay. Jason, any questions on this one?
So, I love the exhibit map. So what we're looking at is, the one on the left shows what the initial proposal was.
Can you turn your mic on, Jason?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, mic and mask. So I'm looking at the location map, which I appreciate, so I just want clarity. So the map on the left was the initial proposed site in the back left corner of the neighborhood.
Yes.
I don't know north or west, I don't see that indicated, but, so it shows through the meeting with the HOA and Verizon in the city, you were able to accommodate a request, not moving it from the neighborhood, but moving to the front, right by the pond, so it's in that common area. Is that what I see where that little X is?
That is correct.
Great, so what this tells me is, we went through the process, and Verizon was able to accommodate a request by the neighborhood to move it from that corner in the neighborhood, looks like somebody's yard, to a common area. So the X is on the pond side, not the neighborhood?
It is on the pond side,
The house
yes.
side, okay,
But it is still in the right-of-way.
yep.
Any additional questions for staff? Is there anyone here from Land and Ridge that wishes to speak specifically on this location? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Jason, I will second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have a request to approve residential waiver to install small cell facilities in Waterford Gardens. Tammy?
Waterford Gardens has two proposed locations in the neighborhood. One is on Easy Street near Allisonville, where it's actually considered a residential roadway there. And then also on Avia Way and I think it's Red Fox Run. We were able to talk with the property management group who has spoken to the HOA board or the condo board on this location. They were okay with the one on Easy Street as is. The one at the intersection of Avia and Red Fox Run, they had asked to relocate it to the southwest corner, which is directly across from Avia Way, to replace an existing street light that is there. Verizon was able to move that. It's not shown here on the map, but they were able to move that to the south corner of that intersection to replace an existing street light.
Great. Any questions for Tammy on this item?
So I guess I'm lost. So this one on the map is not, was that the original proposed?
That's
and
the
then it was
original
moved?
proposed, yes.
So now it's down at the,
It's directly across Avia Way to be on the southwest corner of
down
that
by
intersection.
that swimming pool, it looks like?
No, not that far, just directly across from Avia Way. So it's just across the intersection.
Gotcha.
It's on the same intersection, just across the street.
Any additional questions?
No.
Seeing none, is there anyone from Waterford that would like to speak on this? Just note that there's no one speaking on that. We will go ahead and entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Jason, is there a second? Yes, I guess that's me. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to a request to approve residential waiver to install a small cell facility in Eller Trails.
Okay, this is one that we have brought to you before, back in August. We had originally had conversations with the neighborhood. They had requested to move the proposed structure to the Heritage Park, Ambassador House area, to be outside of the neighborhood. In order to get the coverage objective that Verizon was needing, they would not be able to move it outside of the neighborhood. they were able to adjust it, as you can see on this map, it's on the actual corner of Bristlecone Drive. The HOA was okay with this location. Once the aesthetics were described that the ground cabinet was not going to be in place at this location, that's what made them okay with the location, that the ground cabinet was not going to be there.
Now, Tammy, will this one be a street light or is this just a pole,
It'll be a street light,
street light on the corner there?
yes. All of these will have street lights. There are some neighborhoods that we have spoken to that I'll bring forth later that have requested that the street lights be removed.
Gotcha. Additional questions for Tammy on this item?
No.
At this time, I'd ask if there's anyone here to speak on behalf of Eller Trails. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Yes, that's me. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we will entertain a request to approve residential waivers to install small cell facilities in Auburn Springs.
Before you for Auburn Springs, there are 3 proposed locations in Auburn Springs. One has already been approved back in April. One has not been submitted for a permit, so we are only asking for approval of 1 permit today. It is at the corner of Park Shore. Is this one right there? You can see where the
Okay.
mouse is. We met with the property management group on this. They were okay with all locations. One that has already been approved, they had actually suggested that or requested that we move it to the northwest a little bit in order to be out
Can you
of
point to that one, Tammy, that's already been approved?
this one back up here.
Up off of, I can't read that road, but something court down on C.
Do not have that with
Something
me.
Circle, yeah.
Circle, maybe deer or something circle, looks like, is that the one?
Yeah, that one had been approved back in April.
And they're requesting, they
They had
requested it.
requested it to be moved a little bit, to be outside of, directly in front of the house. It'll still be in that same general corner, but it'll be moved about 18 feet.
And did Verizon agree to that?
Yes, they did, that would be a construction change on site, so they were
Okay.
able to adjust it.
But you're confirming that that permit will get adjusted so
Yes.
that does in fact happen?
Yes,
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, you can go back to the other one. So the other one was off of, pointing down there, okay. Is that
it's Park Shore and,
Brightview Drive or something? Bright Star Drive?
yeah, this map is very difficult to read.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yours are better.
Yeah, I can't read that.
I'll remember that for next time. The property management group was okay with this location as this is an intersection. This again will have street lights on it.
Were there any questions by residents?
There was no questions from residents.
Okay. Any questions by Jason?
No.
Seeing none, at this time, I would entertain any questions or comments from anybody directly affected by Auburn Springs.
And just to clarify, that was Brightwater Drive in
Okay,
Park Shore.
thanks. Seeing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
I will second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we will entertain a request to approve residential waivers to install small cell facilities in Woodbury.
Okay. Woodbury is a little larger neighborhood. We did meet with the property management group and Verizon on a call back in July on this. There are 7 locations that are being proposed in this neighborhood. Only 4 of them are being submitted for a permit. The the property management group did not have any concerns with any of these locations. However, I did receive a request after the meeting at the end of August from a resident asking that this location on Boysenberry Drive be relocated to the intersection here. Verizon was not able to move it there in order to get the coverage objective in that area. So the 4 permits that are before you today are this one here, this one, the one down here, and the one over here on the cul-de-sac.
Tammy, what, I'm trying to pull up the application here. Which, the one where the resident had the concern, that seems like it's mid-block, in the far north, that one you pointed to earlier?
Yes, on Boysenberry.
Poisonberry is the name of the,
Boysenberry.
Boysenberry, okay. Just trying to find that so I can get a better idea of what the impact is to a resident there, and
Actually, it's Sapphire Berry. I apologize.
Sapphire Berry,
Um,
I see it. Do you have that, Jason,
Yeah,
pulled
right
up?
here.
Yeah, so do I.
So I don't see a scale, Tammy. What's the scale? I mean, an inch equals what, roughly?
There's not a scale really on this drawing. No.
Do you have just a rough idea?
Well, those are probably like
It's about
60-foot
three-
lots, maybe.
Yeah, it's about 3 lots.
So 180 feet, okay, plus the width of the street
I mean,
down, so
this
about
one
200 feet.
I do have a challenge with this one, because if you're these homeowners,
Yeah,
you're,
That's why I was wondering what the distance is. Yeah, that looks like pretty condensed housing,
yeah.
you know, with the lots. 0 lot lines, I think they call that, but.
And you said there was or not a discussion about moving that to the corner, Tammy?
Verizon stated that they would not be able to move it to the corner in order to maintain the coverage objective that they have for that area.
So Mayor, I would ask maybe some little bit more review of that before we approve. Because
What about the other three? Are you okay with those?
where are those other 3? I was focused in on that.
Most of the other ones look pretty.
Which,
The
Weeping
other ones
Cherry?
aren't mid-block, right? The other ones are on adjacent to common area?
Can you point at those again?
So I have,
So maybe in the future, just Tammy, to help us simpletons here, maybe put an X on the ones that we're going to
Yep.
approve when there's multiple,
Or different color, yeah.
or a different color dot or something.
Yeah.
So the ones, that one, where are the other 2?
the one here in the cul-de-sac.
So you had 4, you said you
There
were.
was 4.
That were up for approval today.
Yeah, and then this one
So
right
we,
here.
as I look through the Verizon application, I see the Boysenberry or Sapphire Berry Lane graphic. I see, trying to pull another one here. So this one on, Boysenberry, I'm personally okay with Boysenberry, because that meets our criteria,
Mhm.
Jason.
Yeah.
It's in a common area, it's across from some homes, but it is in a common area. I'm okay with.
Yeah. Was there existing lighting in there? This is the one
This
that's,
is on,
what, is that Weeping Cherry?
Hollyberry Circle and Weeping Cherry Drive, the intersection. There's a playground and, a trail that goes through there. It would be page.
There is a existing light at the intersection of Weeping
On the corner
Cherry
there.
and Hollyberry, yes.
And did you say that this is the neighborhood that requested that the lights not be on there?
No, no.
Oh, okay. This isn't the neighborhood, or it is?
No, they'll be coming at a later date.
Oh, a later date, okay.
Yeah,
So this one would be a lighted,
yes.
okay.
So the reason that we didn't replace an existing one?
The one on Weeping Cherry is not to replace an existing one. It is a new pole.
I guess his question is if there's one on the corner already that's a light, is there a reason why we didn't just replace that one?
It was not brought up in the discussions.
I personally don't have a problem.
No, I'm
with
just
this
trying to
company.
think of, now there's two lights, and then, just from an aesthetics perspective with the neighborhood, will they have to balance it out with one over here then? I don't know, but.
We can
I'm
ask that
surprised
this
there was a
one,
consideration of replace an existing light pole, or, with theirs, and then their transmitter on top.
or we could request that the structure be put in without a light.
Well, if the neighborhood has reviewed this and they were okay with that,
Hey, we don't
I don't personally wanna,
contradict.
yeah. So I guess I would make a motion to approve all but the one tower
The one on
that's mid-block.
Sapphire Berry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and not to say we wouldn't revisit it, but, we're trying to stay away from that adverse impact on individual homeowners, and that one seems to be a pretty,
Yeah.
that's someone's picture window looking directly at that thing. But I think the other three are suitable for a lot of the standards that we're looking for, so.
yeah, Mayor, if I may, I have
Yeah.
one question. So, I don't know what their coverage algorithm looks like, Jason, Tammy, but if one were to move, does it impact where the other placements are? So if it does, will they have to come back and ask for approval for all the other replacement? So say Sapphire Berry and Gooseberry Drive ends up moving, will it impact the other towers?
It could. On this specific location, I cannot speak to whether or not it will or not, but it could. It has,
Well,
that question has come up on
I think
conversations that
what we
we've had.
can do is approve these other three, and if for some reason, in moving the one, it adjusts the others, we can bring that one back at the same time for adjustment. Because when we approve these permits, they're site-specific.
Yes, because
So-
there are still 3 in this neighborhood that have not been submitted for permits, but we did have conversations with them,
Okay.
the HOAs, and they were okay with those locations. So once,
Okay. Is there anyone here from Woodbury that would like to speak on behalf of their neighborhood? Seeing none, is there a motion?
So the motion is to approve the 3 of the request, but not Sapphire Berry Lane.
I would table Sapphire Barely and ask that that be revisited.
Okay. So I'll make let's see what the request is. I'll make a motion
Just
to
to-
approve,
3 out of the 4.
Angelberry, Weeping Cherry, Boysenberry.
A lot of berries.
Yeah.
I will
Those
second,
three.
I will second that motion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Jason. I do want to say a special thank you to all the neighborhoods that sat down with Tammy and Gerard and our team, and I do appreciate the work of our staff too. By having these conversations, I think we've gotten to some better outcomes than we otherwise would have, and I do appreciate Verizon's willingness to sit down and have that conversation as well. So
Yes.
hopefully we can get this infrastructure moving, but at the same time respect the interests of all of our residents at the same time. And I appreciate everyone's patience, all the parties involved, as we've tried to really try to figure out a process that gives everyone the due process that they deserve. With that, are there any other agenda items, Chris?
Nope.
Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I will second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.
This meeting is no longer being recorded or transcribed.